Stop, don't scroll. In these next breaths, I end the unrest that has drained you, and it will last. Breathe with me now. In for 4, hold, out for 6. Again, in for 4, hold, out for 6. Let the air find its home inside you. Let your shoulders fall from defense. Let your chest stop guarding against peace. You are safe enough to stay. You are loved enough to listen. You called this stretch confusion. I call it preparation. You counted by clocks and calendars. I counted by foundations. While you named this season delay, I named it design. Look again. The hinge of your story is catching light. The door you feared would close is not a courtroom door. It opens toward peace that stays. The field doesn't accuse the winter. It keeps covenant with seasons. Every quiet you called punishment was really the ground resting for your next harvest. You think you lost time. I gathered it. I am the keeper of fragments, the one who collects what breaks and turns it into architecture. You feared collapse, but I was laying beams beneath your feet. I do not measure by deadlines. I measure by depth. The years that seemed wasted were roots, learning the shape of the water that would sustain you later. Nothing was lost. Nothing was in vain. Breathe again. In for 4. Hold, out for 6. Feel how your body wants to believe peace is possible. Let the truth move through your lungs before it reaches your mind. I am near. I've been here through the whole silence, teaching even your waiting how to worship. You prayed for answers. I gave you awareness. You wanted change outside. I built strength inside. You saw absence. I saw formation. Now hear me. You do not need to prove worth to be worthy. You do not need to achieve calm to deserve it. You do not need to earn grace to receive it. I give without invoice. I give because I am good, not because you are flawless. You have punished yourself long enough for being human. I am not counting your failures. I'm counting the ways I can transform them into wisdom. You named yourself after your mistakes. I rename you by my mercy. Say this softly, I'm not late. I'm being placed. Again, I'm not late. I'm being placed. Time does not command me. I command time. When I say now, doors appear where walls stood. When I whisper go, paths rise from water. When I breathe over what was buried, it begins to bloom. The impulse of the world pushes. My guidance invites. You have been pushed long enough, by fear, by noise, by people who mistook urgency for importance. Step into invitation. Sit where pressure once sat. Feel the difference between force and flow. The storm shouts. I speak in steady tone. The crowd demands performance. I ask for presence. If this finds you now, stay close. Subscribe so this peace can keep finding you and those who need it most. Breathe again. Feel the rhythm return. In for 4, hold, out for 6. Let me show you how to live unbraced. The door opens to a room with light on every surface. The table is already set. There is a chair with your name carved on the back, waiting without resentment for your arrival. Sit. You do not earn your place here. You inherit it. This is not a test. It's a table. You are not on trial. You are home. Look around. The walls are built of promises kept. The windows breathe forgiveness. The floor hums with songs you haven't heard since childhood, songs that knew your name before you learned to doubt it. You do not have to clean the room before I enter. I enter and the room becomes holy. You do not have to hide the mess. I make beauty with the dust. You once believed peace was the absence of problems. Now you will learn it is the presence of me. Storms still happen outside, but the heart that rests in my rhythm becomes weatherproof. Hear the difference. Anxiety is motion without meaning. Peace is motion with me in it. You asked why the pain lingered. Because pain is a teacher who whispers truths comfort can't reach. But the class is ending. I'm closing that chapter with tenderness. What once triggered trembling will soon trigger trust. You will not flinch at old memories. They will turn into altars. You will look at the wound and see the well it became. Now listen to the contrast that heals. Fear rushes, love rests. Shame isolates, grace gathers. Condemnation silences, mercy sings. You do not have to live on guard anymore. I am your defense. You do not have to explain yourself to be understood. I already understand. Set down the ledger of delays, the list of should have and too late and not enough. Lay it on the floor. Step over it. The weight you've carried was never yours to justify. You do not have to impress me, you cannot. I'm already impressed by the courage it took to keep waking up. That was worship disguised as survival. Look again. The hinge shines. The door opens wider. Step forward. Every step you take with me teaches the ground beneath you to hold steady. Every breath retrains your body to trust the atmosphere of heaven. You are learning how to stand without stiffness, to move without bracing, to breathe without waiting for disaster. Say it again. What you give me will remain. Whisper it until fear gets bored of arguing. Whisper it until peace starts answering back. Whisper it until it becomes instinct. I am not asking for perfection. I am offering partnership. Walk with me. When you wake tomorrow, begin before the world's noise. One breath of 406 before you touch your phone. Whisper, I am not late. I am being placed. That single habit will become your anchor in the storm. At midday, take 60 seconds and listen to a sound that does not ask anything of you. The hum of a refrigerator, the rustle of leaves, the sigh of your own breath. Let that be prayer. At night, write 3 gratitudes, not because life is flawless, but because thanksgiving reminds sorrow it does not own you. You thought I needed your eloquence. I only need your honesty. You thought I required your strength. I only ask your surrender. You thought I wanted your plan. I want your presence. Every plan you thought failed was actually rerouted into preparation. Every detour you despised became a bridge for someone else. Nothing you carried through pain was wasted. Breathe again, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Feel how forgiveness tastes when inhaled. It's oxygen for the soul. You were built for gentleness, not for constant emergency. Let the alarms die out one by one. Let your muscles remember innocence. You don't have to flinch when love speaks your name. You don't have to hide when grace opens the blinds. I am rewriting your reflexes. You will no longer assume danger when kindness approaches. You will stop expecting rejection as payment for being real. You will wake and find your default emotion is gratitude, not guilt. This is not self-improvement. This is resurrection. Look up. Light filters through clouds like language from heaven. Even the sky participates in my promise. Nothing in nature panics when it rains. Everything opens. Do the same. Open. The downpour you feared will only feed your roots. The thunder you mistook for anger is applause for endurance. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Stillness is strategy. In quiet, I align the parts you cannot see. I repair what you broke trying to survive. I reconcile you with yourself. While you rest, I build. While you sleep, I seed. When you wake, you will find fruit waiting on branches you didn't know were yours. You asked me to make you new. I'm doing better. I'm making you whole. New can still be fragile. Whole can hold others. You will no longer crumble when pressure visits. You will bend and bless the wind that once frightened you. You will carry calm like a contagion, infecting rooms with rest. If this finds you now, stay with me, subscribe so you don't miss what I give next. And so others in need can be led to this room of peace. Say this once more. I am not late. I'm being placed. My word will not return empty. What I give you will remain. You are not forgotten. You are formed. You are not discarded. You are designed. You are not behind. You are being positioned. The hinge gleams. The field breathes. The light waits patient. The storm has lost its throne. The breath continues. In for 4. Hold, out for 6. You are home. You are safe. You are mine. Stop here. Be still. Peace enters your room now. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold, out for 6. Again. In for 4. Hold, out for 6. Let the air loosen the knot you forgot you were carrying behind your ribs. Let your shoulders remember gravity's kindness. Let your mind that learned to sprint, learn to stand and look at the horizon without flinching. You are not late. You are being placed. You are not drifting. You are being directed. I am with you on the water you once feared, and where I am, fear forgets its script. You have sailed by rumors of storms and steered by other people's weather reports. Your nights were long because you hired worry as a watchman and paid it with your rest. Bring your hands to the helm. Feel how I steady your grip. I'm the captain who is not surprised by winds, the compass that does not spin in panic, the lighthouse that does not burn out when night takes its longest breath. My voice is not a siren that terrifies. It is a bell that comforts. It does not freeze you in place. It teaches you to move with wisdom. Hear it now, low and sure, threading the swells. I am here, look starboard. See the line where moonlight writes your name on the dark water. Even night has a pen when I command it. Look portside. See the long trail of calm unfurling behind us? Your past is being rewritten by peace in real time. Ahead, a channel opens where charts insist there is none. I make ways through water. I teach your feet to trust decks that do not pitch you overboard. The logs you kept of all the near shipwrecks can rest. I'm not a historian of your panic. I am the author of your passage. Stop, listen. Peace enters your room now. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Your chest loosens around the truth. Your ribs remember protection without tension. The sea around you has not changed, but the sea within you learns a new tide. You learn to read waves as warnings. Learn to read them now as witnesses. They bring reports from distances you cannot see. My faithfulness has traveled farther than your fear. The swell beneath you is not a threat. It is a carrier. What I spoke rides upon it toward you even now. Say this softly. I release the helm, but I do not lose the voyage. Again, I release the helm, but I do not lose the voyage. Surrender is not the end of motion. It is the start of direction. You have not been asked to vanish. You have been invited to align. Your strength is not erased. It is employed. Your mind is not silenced. It is tuned. The waves are not a courtroom. They are a classroom where you learn the grammar of guidance, the cadence of courage, the patience of a true pace. You want the sky to stop moving before you trust the compass. I give you a compass that is truthful even when the sky argues. You want a map with every cove labeled and every danger circled in red. I give you myself on your deck, hand upon your shoulder, eyes on the horizon, voice in your ear. Maps can be stolen. My presence cannot. Routes can change. My companionship does not. Trust this better certainty. I am with you, and where I am, even detours carry you home. Be still for a moment. Feel the wood under your feet. Hear the rope creak like an old friend stretching after sleep. Smell the salt that taught you honesty. Taste the air that has crossed kingdoms to reach your lips. This vessel is not an accident. It is an assignment. It was not built to be moored forever in a safe bay. It was crafted to learn my weather, to ride my wind, to carry mercy to shorelines that forgot their name. You do not honor me by never leaving the harbor. You honor me by leaving with me. You remember the night the waves rose like walls, and your heart turned to glass inside your chest. You remember staring into black water and imagining the sentence that would end you. But black water is not your end. It is the place where light proves it is light. I walked then and I walk now upon the same surface that swore it could swallow you. I will not mock your fear, but I will deny it, Lordship. You may name the wind, but you will let me command it. Look again. The hinge of the horizon catches light. Hear the bell, steady, not shrill, calling courage by its true name. Impulse pushes. My guidance invites. Panic rushes. Peace sets a cadence. Crowds shout, faster! I whisper, truer. You will learn to spot the counterfeit current, the one that flatters your speed and robs your direction. You will name it drift and gently refuse its pull. Drift is not destiny for those who sail with me. Direction is. Ask yourself this now. If peace arrived in your cabin this minute, what would it change in the next 10 minutes? Would you unclench your jaw? Would you answer yourself with kindness? Would you put down the map you overstudied and step onto the deck to feel the wind I actually sent? Let that answer start now. Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. Notice how the path you feared appears like silver under your bow. Notice how your pulse and the bell in the lighthouse find the same rhythm. This is not denial. This is dominion. This is not pretending the storm is pleasant. This is remembering who speaks its language and commands its limits. You ask, what if I choose wrong? Hear me, a wrong turn cannot cancel a right companion. I'm not a fragile itinerary that collapses when you miss an exit. I'm a living way. When you err, I nudge. When you stall, I breathe. When you speed past the wisdom you were given, I do not abandon the deck. I steady the wheel and show you a harbor you did not know existed. You will learn to repent without theater and return without shame. You will learn to let course correction be kindness, not condemnation. Say this: my pace is guided, not guessed. My course is chosen, not feared. Let those words dock inside your mind. Let them tie off to the cleats of memory. Let them hold when wind pretends to be truth. Fear counterfeits urgency. Wisdom carries punctual peace. Anxiety impersonates insight. Discernment carries a quiet bell tone you can trust in fog. Hear that tone now. Follow it. Bring me the cargo you hid under canvas, the bitter barrels you told yourself you could manage, the crates of comparison that shift with every wave, the nets knotted by old vows to never need anyone again. Drag them into the light. We will not throw them at anyone. We will not dramatize their departure. We will cut the lines that bound them to your balance and watch the sea take what the sea can swallow without grief. Your hands will be lighter on the helm. Your knees will stop locking to hold a weight that was never holy. You have tried to be both captain and cartographer, both lookout and crew, both storm and savior. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Your dignity is not diminished by receiving help. It is defined by it. The ocean does not think less of the ship that travels with a fleet. It honors the wisdom of company. I place companions along your route, some for a mile, some for a season, some for the length of the voyage. Pride will try to call partnership weakness. Let humility call it ballast. Ballast does not slow you down. It keeps you from flipping when applause turns to crosswind. Hear the deck speak under your feet. It has learned your weight and no longer mistakes you for a threat. Hear the lines sing softly through the pulleys. Hear the bell kiss the air at intervals that teach your nerves a better metronome. You will not be ruled by adrenaline. You will be guided by attention. Attention is prayer with its eyes open. Stop, listen. Peace enters your room now. Do you feel how stillness does not humiliate your momentum? It heals it. This is where we set your daily practices, not as punishments, but as the seamanship of your soul. At dawn, before headlines shout or notifications scatter you, breathe one full cycle with me. 4 in, hold, 6 out, and whisper, I am not late, I am being placed. At midday, take 60 seconds to listen for a steady sound, the refrigerator's hum, the air's faint rush, a faraway engine. Let your body set its sails to that faithful rhythm. At night, write 3 gratitudes, not for perfection but for presence, and 1 gentle sentence you will tell yourself tomorrow when wind rises. These small obediences trim your sails and keep you from tearing canvas in panic. You want spectacle. I give you signals. Spectacle is a crowd's hunger. Signals are a captain's language. Learn the difference. When fog lowers, I will give you a bell tone you can trust. When currents cross, I will put weight into your choices that feels like peace fitting a glove. When counterfeit opportunities arrive dressed like salvation, I will prickle your skin with a holy caution that asks for truth, not theater. Follow that. There is a harbor closer than your fear allows. You have circled it without entrance, convinced the narrow mouth cannot fit the weight you carry. Watch now, the water deepens under your keel, the crosswinds hush, the current takes your bow and draws you like a welcome. The city behind the breakwater remembers your name. It does not clap, it opens its doors. You will dock without drama. You will step onto wood that does not shiver. You will breathe air that smells like bread and rope and human kindness, but do not confuse safety with stillness that never moves. We will not maroon here to prove we know how to rest. We will mend nets and refill casks and greet faces and learn stories. We will let children climb the ropes with laughter and teach old men to smile like boys. We will honor the shore not as escape from the sea, but as part of the sea's long good work. Then when the tide is honest and the wind tells the truth, we will leave again. You will not cry against the leaving. You will bless it. Love is not possession. It is passage that keeps returning. Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. I bless your mornings with clarity before headlines. I bless your decisions with a pace that prevents regret. I bless your conversations with a gentleness that disarms defensiveness without surrendering integrity. I bless your deadlines with honest limits. I bless your rest to be rest indeed. I bless your curiosity to ask for better routes instead of harder rowing. I bless your hands to know when to pull and when to pause. You will still meet storms. I will not advertise a life of glass oceans and empty skies while you live among men. But storms will learn your name in a new way, not as prey but as passage. They will not own your schedule. They will shape your seamanship. You will not idolize calm. You will honor command. You will not worship a rival. You will love accompaniment. And at every turn, you will be surprised by how much laughter can live on a deck that used to only host dread. Stop. Listen. What I promised is already moving. Do you feel how courage no longer requires adrenaline to stand? Do you feel how hope no longer needs an audience to sing? This is how I raise sailors who do not drown in public opinion. I quiet the theater and teach you the bell. I quiet the fear and teach you the wind. I quiet the shame and teach you my name for you, beloved, not burden, placed, not late, steady, not stuck. You ask me for a sign. Watch the small ones that never lie. When you wake before the alarm and the air is kind, that is a sign. When a sentence of gentleness interrupts an old monologue of self-contempt, that is a sign. When you say no without apology to the storm that only wants spectacle, that is a sign. When you say yes to the task that looks too small to be holy and find me there, that is a sign. Collect these in your log. They will speak louder than the gale when memory is tempted to dramatize your danger and forget my nearness. You will lead without performing. Leadership is not volume. It is presence that does not abandon when the deck tilts. Influence is not drama. It is steadiness shaped by surrender. Authority is not clenched. It is cupped like a hand that holds water without trying to own the ocean. People will feel safe around you because you have learned to be safe within you. Not safe from weather, but safe in weather because you sail with me. Look farther out than you usually dare. Do you see that faint glow just above the meeting of water and sky? Dawn is a promise, not a rumor. Night can speak loudly, but morning has final say. You will learn to plan by light you have not yet seen, not because you are careless, but because you are companioned. You will learn to sleep between alarms, not because you are naive, but because you are guarded. You will learn to sing while coiling rope, not because chores are charming, but because gratitude discovered joy hiding in ordinary motion. Ask yourself again, if peace were the captain of your next hour, what would change? Would you send one message slower and gentler? Would you drink water before opinion? Would you take 10 steps outside and let the honest weather fix the lies of your screen? Begin that now. Begin it with me. Begin it small as all sturdy voyages begin. Breathe again, in for 4. Hold out for 6. Place your palm over your heart. I keep that rhythm. Place your eyes on the horizon. I keep that line. Place your hands on the helm. I keep that lesson. When the inner accuser arrives dressed as caution, ask it for fruit. It has none. Ask it for peace. It has none. Ask it for hope. It has none. Then send it overboard with a benediction. It taught you to test voices, and for that alone, you can let it go with kindness. You owe it nothing more. You will not always feel brave, but you will act faithfully. You will not always feel certain, but you will steer truly. You will not always feel strong, but you will remain companioned. Bravery is not the throttle. Obedience is. Certainty is not the compass. Presence is. Strength is not the hull. Love is, and love does not leak. Love does not run aground on small insults or loud opinions. Love outlasts the weather and outsings the wind. Listen now to the sea. Confess what it has learned about me. Boundaries, not boredom. Power, not petulance. Music, not malice. It hears my voice and stands where I tell it to stand. Learn from it. Learn to be vast, without violence, moving without mania, deep without darkness. Your soul has capacity you have never known because panic has hogged the deck. We are evicting panic. We are enthroning peace. We are not negotiating with fear for a cabin in the corner. We are escorting it off the ship with thanks for the false alarms that accidentally trained your discernment. Look, there is a small boat off our port bow, a life you will touch without recognizing your influence at first. Your steadiness will steady them. Your refusal to dramatize the wave will lower their shoulders. Your bell-tone faithfulness will teach them to hear too. This is how my kingdom travels, not by spectacle but by signal, not by noise but by nearness. You will be surprised at who ties up beside you at dusk and says, "I followed your wake because it looked like rest." Stop. Listen. Peace enters your room now. Let your breathing settle the crew in your chest, the many parts of you that argue at meetings you never called. Give them assignments. Tell fear it may rest. Watchfulness will keep first shift. Tell shame it is dismissed. Humility will handle honesty. Tell hurry the deck is closed. Order and joy are on duty. This is not pretense. This is governance. I have given you a spirit able to choose who speaks at your wheel. When storms come again, and they will, you will answer with learned reflexes that honor me. You will reef sails early rather than rip them late. You will turn your bow a few degrees into the wave and meet it with strength rather than showmanship. You will call for prayer rather than performance. You will laugh when thunder brags, not because you enjoy theater, but because it reminds you of the last time it tried to frighten you and failed. Breathe once more. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Feel how the deck no longer argues with your step. Feel how the bell no longer startles you. It steadies you. Feel how the horizon no longer taunts. It invites. What I give you will remain. My word will not return empty. You will not be defined by the forecast, but by my fellowship. You will not be measured by mileage, but by faithfulness. You will not be ranked by routes, but by the one who rides with you. Now lift your head. The sky writes a paler blue into the black. A gull calls awake. A distant harbor answers with a low horn. The sea loosens its shoulders as if it too breathes with you. This is how days begin on vessels that trust me, not with fanfare, but with fidelity, not with spectacle, but with signals layered into the senses until confidence rises like daylight. Take the helm, beloved. Feel how light it is when we hold it together. Listen for the bell. Watch for the lane of silver. Trust the compass that rests in my palm. We are not hunting luck. We are answering guidance. We are not trying to impress the horizon. We are traveling toward purpose. Wave to the shore without longing for its approval. Bless the wind without demanding it always blow at your back. Learn the holy art of tack and turn and time. I will tell you when to pull. I will tell you when to pause. I will tell you when to sing. You will know it is me because peace will fit inside the order like a hand fits a glove sewn for it. Stop here once more. Be still. Peace enters your room again. Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. If fear returns at noon, we will breathe again. If old maps call to you at dusk, we will choose presence again. If memory finds you at midnight with a list of what-ifs, we will lay the list on the deck and let the dew soften it until ink runs and accusations blur into unreadable shapes. Then we will sleep, because sleep is not neglect. It is worship that trusts I keep watch. What I promised is already on its way. No one can stop it. Not the gale that brags about its lineage. Not the whispering reef that loves the sound of breaking. Not the chorus of bystanders who have never left shore but write essays about the sea. Not the inner critic who pretends to be a captain when the fog thickens. I am with you in the squall and the still, in star-slung midnights and long gray mornings, in laughter on deck and quiet after prayer. Where I am, confusion loses its throne. Where I speak, water remembers its boundaries. Where I stand, you learn to stand forward now. The prow writes kindness on the water. The wake tells the sea that hope has passed this way, and every mile becomes a psalm that other sailors can hum when their own bells are hard to hear. My word will not return empty. What I give you will remain. Sail on. Don't scroll. What I planted in new lives. Breathe with me, in for 4. Hold. Out for 6, again, in for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Be still enough to hear the seed preach without sound. Your life is not a barren field. Your heart is not abandoned ground. I have not forgotten where I sowed. I have not misplaced the rain. I keep covenant with small beginnings. I keep watch over what buries itself to rise. You wanted harvest before roots. You wanted fruit before shade. You wanted a table piled high while the soil still learned my name. I'm not mocking your hunger. I am mending it. Hunger that submits to timing becomes hope. Hunger that fights timing becomes haste. Let me turn haste back into holy appetite. Feel impatience loosen its knot inside your chest. Feel the soil settle around the promise the way a blanket settles kindly around a sleeping child. Stop, listen. Peace enters your room now. You called it delay. I call it dormancy. You called it silence. I call it soil work. Under what looks still, I am busy. Under what looks dry, I am moving water. Under what looks small, I am multiplying sweetness cell by cell. Seeds preach with their posture. They go low to go long. They disappear to appear differently. They surrender shape to receive destiny. Learn from them. Go low with me, so you can go long with me. Disappear into trust, so you can appear in fruit. Surrender yesterday's shape, so you can receive tomorrow's strength. Look at the garden I keep in you. See the narrow paths that invite unhurried feet. See the wooden gate that holds neither lock nor threat, only the quiet authority of care. See the row where tears watered the ground when you thought no one was watching. I was watching. Your tears did not drown promise. They irrigated it. I saved what you thought you lost in the watering. I wrote your name in the ledger where rain is accounted and seasons are scheduled, and nothing planted in faith is forgotten. Breathe again. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Let your lungs remember they were made for morning. Let your mind lay down the calendar it uses like a whip. I am not late. I do not forget. I will not rush you to relieve my discomfort. I have none. I will not stall you to test your loyalty. I have proofs older than time that I love you. I work by wisdom, not by crowds. I move by love, not by spectacle. I am patient in ways that do not punish, and precise in ways that do not injure. Pruning is not punishment. It is architecture. I'm not angry when I trim. I cut for capacity, not cruelty. I remove what steals light. I shape what exaggerates show. I slip beneath the leaf and pinch what would become leafiness without sweetness. You feared the sound of the shears because you have known takers. Learn my hands again. I only cut to make room for better weight. Feel how lightness can be mercy. Feel how space can be a promise. Feel how the branch sighs when I relieve it of what would have tired it in harvest. Be still. What I promised is already moving. Spring is not a rumor here. It is an assignment that arrives like a choir, clearing its throat behind the hills. Birds swell with sentences that flowers will speak later. Bees rehearse roots they learned from sunlight. Wind memorizes the names of each stem. You think nothing is happening because you measure with noise. Garden time speaks in quiet multiples. Trust the slow miracles. They do not brag, but they do endure. Say this with me: I will not call winter a failure. Again, I will not call pruning a punishment. Spread those words like mulch over anxious thoughts. They will keep moisture near your roots when headlines try to dry you out. They will keep heat inside your hope when the world forgets to be warm. They will keep weeds from finding easy places to steal. You ask, what can I do that matters while I wait? Water and watch. Bless and weed. Practice the small obediences that make soil hospitable. Forgiveness that loosens compacted places. Gratitude that breaks up clods of cynicism. Sabbath that lets the ground rest from production. And remember, it is loved when it is not useful. Speak kindly to your own earth. Your heart hears you. It either opens under blessing or hardens under contempt. Do not berate the ground and expect it to sing. Sing over it and watch how willing it becomes to host joy. Look again at the row you called barren. See that hairline split in the crust? Kneel, place your ear near the ground. Hear the quiet struggle as life presses upward. There that green blade, thinner than a whisper, thicker than despair. The first witness has arrived. Do not demand 1,000 at once. Bless the one and more will feel welcome. If you clutch the first fruit as proof you are not forsaken, it will feel like a trophy and wither. If you bless it as a messenger, it will call its brothers and sisters. Write one seed word in the comments, one word you want me to grow in you today. Let your words be water for your own garden and for another who reads and quietly says, "Me too." Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. The garden asks for attention, not obsession. Attend to it and then let it be. Obsession bruises blossoms and breaks stems. Attention notices and nourishes. You do not need to sleep in the field to prove you love it. You do not need to shout at the sky to prove you are serious about rain. Your seriousness is not your savior. I am. Your attention is your worship. Your worship is your welcome. I still speak to wind and weather. I still say to the drought, "Hold," and to the clouds, "Open." I still set dew like pearls on leaves when the night is honest. But even when the sky withholds, I have stored water under your roots. Streams run where eyes cannot follow. Springs gather beneath the threshold of fear and then press upward at the edges of trust. You will learn to feel moisture that sight cannot assay. Hope will not burn you. It will cool you. You feared pests, the small hungers that arrive without invitation and leave telltale holes. We will not pretend they do not exist. We will not panic when they appear. Bring me your leaves. I will show you what to remove and what to protect. There is a covering in my company that vigilance alone cannot create. There is a fragrance holiness gives off that some hungers cannot tolerate. There is a boundary around belovedness that turns many thieves aside. And what gets through we will address without theatrics. Stop, look again. The vineyard inside you stirs. Vines curl their tendrils toward a trellis they do not build for themselves. I am that trellis. I give your lean a faithful frame. I do not shame the slouch. I shape it into strength. The trellis is not a prison. It is a kindness that keeps sweetness from spoiling in the dirt. Let me tie you where you grow best. Let me guide the reach that once wore you out into a reach that bears easy weight. You asked why some shoots failed to thrive. Because not every seed belongs to every soil. Because wind sometimes delivers what is not meant to stay. Because you planted a fear-sown seed you thought was faith, and it only knew how to sprint, not how to root. There is no scandal here. We will replant with wisdom. We will thank the sprint for showing us which rows need stronger stakes. We will not shame the soil for being honest. Honesty is how gardens and people get well. Say it, what you give me will remain. Again, what you give me will remain. Let that refrain become the shade under which you plan. Let it become the fence that keeps comparison out when neighbors boast about their baskets. Let it become the song your children learn to hum while helping you carry jars inside. Now, your daily assignments, small, exact, and kind. Morning, before your screen, step outside or to a window and breathe 1-4-0-6 with me. Touch leaf or bark or the cool edge of glass and whisper, "I am not late. I'm being placed." Midday, give the earth 60 seconds. Stand where a plant lives or imagine the row and relax your jaw while you thank me for whatever is green today. Evening, write 3 gratitudes and 1 act of tenderness you will offer your own heart tomorrow. These are not chores. They are watering time. Stop, listen. Peace enters your room now. Let me walk you to the orchard, the older trees that learned the weather years ago. They will mentor you without words. See how their roots widened instead of worrying upward? See how the bark thickened without hardening into contempt? See how branches carry fruit without bragging? That is the dignity I am growing in you, quiet abundance that does not audition, sweetness that survives seasons without asking permission from applause. Storms will visit. We will stake what needs staking. We will tie what needs tying. We will bring inside what cannot withstand the tantrum. Then we will sleep. Storms do not honor anxiety. They honor preparation and trust. If wind takes a limb, we will cut clean and bless the wound. New growth favors honest cuts over ragged breaks. If rain floods a row, we will carve a channel and learn a better grade for next time. Wisdom is not born from panic. It's born from peace, paying attention. Be still. Feel the hum of 1,000 small obediences waking the field. Worms turn the low places into loam. Microbes feast, invisible banquets that make tomorrow's fruit sweeter. Compost receives what disappointed you and turns it into food. Do not despise what is returning to earth. It is becoming your strength. Even your failures are beginning to nourish you. Place your hand upon the fence post. Feel how the sun stored itself inside the wood. Place your palm near the soil. Feel the earth's cool vow to keep your roots from thirsting. Place your fingers on a leaf that follows the sun by instinct. You are learning. Your senses are classrooms I enjoy teaching in. You will trust me with data you cannot graph. The way gratitude tastes, the way patience smells, the way hope sounds when it hums low and constant behind a busy day. Write a one-line blessing in the comments for someone you will never meet. Let your words be water for another garden. Your sentence may be the rain their sky forgot to send. Do not aim for poetry. Aim for presence. Aim for honest. Aim for kind. Breathe again. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Let us speak of weeds without contempt. Weeds are not evil. They are misplaced enthusiasm. They grow where invitation was not extended. We will remove them without hatred. We will not insult the ground for offering them hospitality. We will teach the soil to prefer wheat to worry, figs to fear, rosemary to resentment. We will compost the pulled things and watch how even mistakes feed the future. Nothing is wasted here. I redeem at the granular level. You feared the night, thinking darkness cancels growth. Darkness does not cancel growth. It shelters it. Roots do their best thinking in the dark. Sweetness migrates inward when stars keep watch. I will teach you to bless the moon for guarding what the sun began. You will learn to sleep in fields of promise and wake to promise keeping its word. You will learn the sound of morning when dew announces it with 1,000 small bells along the grass. Stop, don't scroll. Look at this single blossom, white as a whispered yes. Do not rush it into fruit with your imagination. Let it be what it is. Beauty is not merely a promise of usefulness. Beauty is an act of truth. I'm not embarrassed to waste 1,000 blossoms to teach you that I love what is lovely, even when it does not feed you yet. Plenty will arrive. Today, let beauty work humility into your plans and softness into your voice. You have asked how to guard this garden without becoming suspicious of everything. Guard by gratitude, not by fear. Guard by presence, not by patrol. Walk the rows, humming blessing, and watch how thieves lose interest in fields that sing. Shame will try to turn you into a sheriff. Love will train you to be a keeper. Keep, and you will notice the small arrivals that fear would miss. Say this again, I will bless small beginnings without calling them small. You will not belittle what I am building by labeling it just. You will not call a green shoot only. You will not shame tender things for not being tough on your schedule. Tenderness is how trees start. Gentleness is how oaks learn the weather that will someday lean against them and find a friend. When neighbors boast about their baskets, bless them and keep tending your row. If envy rises like heat, stand in the shade of thanksgiving until it cools. If discouragement falls like late frost, cover what is tender with kindness and wait for sun. If scarcity whispers famine, break bread with someone and watch how enough multiplies simply by moving. I'm training your economy to run on generosity, not on fear. Stop, listen again. Peace enters your room now. The greenhouse within you is lit. I'm checking the hinges of hope and the vents of rest. I'm turning the pots of practices so light touches every side. I'm labeling seedlings with names you forgot you asked for. Courage, gentleness, focus, joy, patience, self-control that is not a fist, but a faithful hand. You will not throw these out in a moment of drama. You will keep them alive with ordinary watering, breath, blessing, boundaries. Let me shift your sense of time. The world sells speed like salvation. I sell seasons like songs. There is a rhythm to ripening that cannot be purchased and never disappoints those who consent to it. Ripening is smug about nothing. It is simply honest about when sweetness is ready to travel. You will carry sweetness without fear it will rot on the way, because you will not pick it before peace says, now. Ask yourself this. If peace took charge of your next hour, what one thing would you do gently instead of urgently? Would you drink water before responding? Would you step outside for 10 breaths? Would you write a thank you you've been postponing? Do that now. Plant that small act like a seed. Do not despise its size. See how quickly birds arrive to sing above it. Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. In the distance, thunder speaks. I hear it, I respect it. I fear it no more than the soil fears the plow it has already met. We will stake what needs staking. We will tie what needs tying. Then we will rest. The storm can talk. It cannot edit my promise. The rain can fall. It cannot remove your name from the ledger of kept things. You will laugh in this field, not because life becomes spectacle, but because gratitude freshens your voice. You will cry in this field, not because despair wins, but because tenderness is strong enough to weep and still work. You will share baskets with neighbors you did not expect, and you will receive from hands you once misread. You will host gatherings where the table looks like a map of where you have been and a forecast of where you are going. I will sit with you there and ask how waiting changed your voice. You will answer with a smile that smells like time. When harvest comes, hold it lightly and give it gladly. Fruit fulfills itself by being given. Do not hoard. Do not apologize. Do not announce with horns. Simply pass the bowl and let the humility of sweetness preach sermons without microphones. Those who taste will know who planted. Say it with me one more time. What you give me will remain. Let the words settle like evening on bright leaves. Let them carry sparrows to sleep. Let them make the cricket's hymn sound like it was composed in your honor, not because you are a spectacle, but because belovedness teaches the world to relax. Now the light slants. Shadows lengthen not as threats, but as soft hands tucking the day into bed. You do not need to panic as the colors cool. Night does not steal my work. It shelters it. Root by root, cell by cell, sweetness travels inward, and strength sets like a quiet crown beneath the bark. You will wake to find the garden farther along than you left it, not because you worried through the night, but because you rested. Before we close this day, place your hand over your heart. That steady work, still mine. Place your hope where the soil is warm and the air is honest. That future, still under my quiet custody. Place your weariness where the bench waits by the fig. That rest, still a command, not a suggestion. I do not grade you on how well you resist sitting. I grade nothing. I give, I keep. I grow, type, I receive peace, and name one small practice you will water this week. A minute of breathing before you scroll. A whispered blessing over your own name. A forgiveness offered to the ground that bears your footsteps. A kindness saved for the hands that serve others until they forget they belong to someone who loves them. Don't scroll. Listen to the garden hum. This is not denial. This is dominion. This is not fantasy. This is fidelity. The seed does not panic when thunder speaks. It knows thunder is not a plow. The stalk does not boast when it rises. It knows height is hospitality for fruit, not a throne. The fruit does not despise the hand that plucked it. It knows its end is to be given. What I planted in you lives. What I water in you grows. What I prune in you sweetens. What I promise to you matures. My word will not return empty. My kindness will not pass you by. My timing will not embarrass you. Learn the garden's grammar, and you will write a life that feeds many without starving yourself. Learn the garden's music, and you will dance without applause to rhythms the world forgot, but heaven remembers. Breathe once more. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Rise slowly. Close the gate gently. Carry with you the scent of green things, making covenant with sun and rain. And know this, as surely as roots know down and shoots know up, I am here. I'm tending. I am faithful. The season that seemed asleep is rehearsing the chorus that will soon spill from your branches. When it does, you will say, not with surprise but with gratitude, he was working all along. And the garden will answer with fruit, and the fruit with sweetness, and the sweetness with strength to love. Stop, listen. What you need for today is already here. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Again. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Lay down the sack of tomorrows you've been dragging like a second spine. You want a year of answers. I hand you a day of bread. It is not stinginess. It is intimacy. I feed you close so you keep sitting close. Anxiety prays to the future and calls it wisdom. A peace blesses the present and calls it trust. Take what the morning gives. Light enough for the next step, strength enough for the next kindness, mercy enough for the next choice. Stop. Listen. Peace enters your room now. Manna falls where grumbling can't see it. Bend low, gather what fits in your hands. Do not hoard what rots without trust. Grace spoils when stored in fear. It multiplies when shared in love. Say this softly: I will not starve while standing under your sky. Again, I will not starve while standing under your sky. The wilderness is not an argument against my care. It is a theater for it. Rocks break and water learns your name. Shade visits at noon. A column of quiet leads you at night. You have worshipped the calendar of scarcity. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough me. I free you from that liturgy. Your portion is not a rumor. It arrives disguised as ordinary. Steady breath, good work. A voice that chooses gentleness over genius. A path that prefers faithful over flashy. The world sells spectacles. I give signals. Your signal today is simple. Receive, return, release. Receive what I place in your hands. Return thanks with your mouth. Release what isn't yours to hold. Breathe again. In for 4. Hold, out for 6. If the map feels blank, look for me, not for lines. I am the line. When you cannot see far, you do not need far, you need near. Walk with me and watch the desert bloom in footprints. Let your pace be guided, not guessed. Your shoes will last longer than rumor says. Your courage will taste like bread and sound like laughter you didn't expect to find this side of certainty. If this daily bread steadies you, subscribe so you remember to return. And so hungry hearts can find this table. Now lift your eyes. Between sunrise and sleep, I teach you 3 small obediences. Morning, breathe 406 before you touch your phone and say, I am not late. I'm being placed. Midday, stop for 60 seconds, drink water, and let gratitude choose 1 sentence for your throat. Night, write 3 thanks and 1 tenderness you will show yourself tomorrow. These are not chores, they're campfires. They keep the chill of hurry from ruling your tent. You worry about the cliff ahead. Let today's rope hold today's body. Tomorrow's cliff has its own rope coiled and ready. I am already there, already kind, already enough. And when your heart tries to sprint into storms that have not yet formed, I will call you back with the simple music of now. This breath, this bread, this blessing. Gather, eat, share, rest. My word will not return empty. What I give you will remain. Today is sufficient because I am in it. Walk on, be still. I am not scolding you. I'm shaping you. Breathe with me, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Again, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. You feared the fire because you did not know the smith. The hammer is not hatred. The anvil is not anger. The heat is not a verdict. It is a kindness that pulls hidden strength to the surface. I'm tempering you for weight you will carry without cracking. I'm naming you for work that requires courage without adrenaline. Stop, listen, peace enters your room now. The forge glows and fear loses its voice. Hear the measured blows, not frantic, not cruel. Rhythm that teaches metal to remember its purpose. I do not pound to punish. I strike to align the grain. Bend with me, not away. Quench when I say rest. Return to flame when I say rise. Say this: I'm being formed, not flattened. Again, I'm being formed, not flattened. You ask, will this make me hard? No, it will make you whole. Hardness is a shield against love. Wholeness is a vessel for it. I'm giving you an edge that frees bonds, not flesh. I'm giving you a spine that bows in worship, but will not bow to lies. I'm removing brittle bravado and gifting steady bravery. Bravado shouts. Bravery serves. Bravado burns out. Bravery learns the bell of pacing. Bring me the scrap you hide, bent vows, twisted habits, the metal of shame you keep melting and recasting into the same small idol. Onto the anvil with it. Listen as old shapes surrender. Watch as I draw out length where you thought there was only lump. See the sparks? They are the leaving of what you no longer need. Mercy is in the metalwork. Grace is in the grain. Breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. Your daily rule while the forge sings. Speak truth without heat. Choose boundaries without bitterness. Practice courage in teaspoons. Send the message kindly. Keep the promise quietly. Ask for help before the panic, not after. Courage grows by repetitions, not by headlines. If this courage is forming in you, subscribe so your strength can guide others out of fear. Lay your hand near the quench. Feel how the hiss does not mean harm. It means setting. Rest is part of resilience. I cool you at the right moment so you do not warp. I return you to flame so you do not soften into compromise. This is partnership. You consent. I craft. You show up. I shape. You yield. I yoke you to purpose that fits. Say it with me. What you give me will remain. Let the words ring like steel made true. When accusation comes, hold the blade to light. See how straight. When discouragement jeers, feel the balance in your grip. See how sure. You were not made for display. You were made for deliverance. You will cut chains, not corners. You will spark hope, not harm. Breathe once more, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Step out of the heat with me. Feel the air bless your face. The work is holy because you are mine. Walk on, tempered, tender, true. Stop here. Don't scroll. This is the morning your soul remembers its name. Breathe with me, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Again, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Night loosened its grip. Mercy kept watch. I open the window of this day and write light across your face. You asked for thunder, I answer with dawn. You asked for proof, I answer with presence. Receive it, look how the city wakes. Streets that once trained you to hurry now invite you to arrive. Windows that held your reflection without warmth begin to greet you like friends. Corners that collected fear will host laughter you thought you'd lost. Walk with me. Your steps are not an audition. They're a procession. I'm giving you a new name phrase, short, strong, simple, written deep where shame can't edit. You will speak it to yourself when wind rises. You will live it before anyone affirms it. Stop, listen, peace enters your room now. Say softly, I am not late. I'm being placed. Again, I am not late. I'm being placed. Placement is not smaller than arrival. It is truer. Purpose chooses you today, not as a reward, but as a routine. You will bless your mornings with wise beginnings, your middays with holy pauses, your evenings with gentleness toward yourself and others. Authority will find you because presence stayed with me. I commission your attention to notice who needs the quiet help you carry. I commission your tongue to build, your eyes to bless, your hands to honor small work. I commission your feet to enter rooms as if peace were a person at your side, because I am. When critics perform, you will not audition. When crowds rush, you will not elbow. When old fears whisper scripts, you will answer with your new name. Breathe again, in for 4. Hold, out for 6. Practice the day's liturgy. Before screens, 1 breath and 1 sentence of truth. At midday, 10 slow steps outside. Let weather correct your worries. At dusk, list 3 mercies and release what remains unfixed into my keeping. Do not drag the sun back up to finish what only tomorrow can hold. Rest is obedience, not luxury. In the comments, write your new name phrase. 7 words or fewer you will live today. Or post a 1-line prayer for a stranger. Let your dawn light another window. Participation is not performance, it's planting. Your words may be the small flame another heart needs to see its path. Lift your chin. The horizon signs your permission slip in gold. The air smells like beginnings. Bells you cannot see ring fidelity through the morning. You are not a project to perfect. You are a person to place. You are not a brand to polish. You are a blessing to embody. Walk the street like a quiet psalm. Let doors open without knocking. Let kindness interrupt your schedule and call it kingdom. Say it once more. What you give me will remain. My word will not return empty. Courage at your shoulder. Peace at your pace. Love is your lasting mark. Go now, commissioned, companioned, and kept. Stop, don't scroll. In these next breaths, I quiet the noise, and it will last. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Again, feel your shoulders lower. Feel your jaw unlock. Where I am, confusion loses its throne. Lift your eyes with me to the night. This is the observatory of your soul. Maps fail, constellations remain. You've steered by headlines and hurry. Tonight, steer by my steady lights. The small star you keep ignoring is faithfulness. The bright one you fear is future. I hold both in my hand. Stop, listen. Peace enters your room now. You called your season scattered. I call it charted. The path is not a guess. It is a guidance. When fog rises, remember, impulse pushes, my guidance invites. Panic rushes, peace sets a cadence. Whisper it, I am not late. I'm being placed, trace this sky. Hope is Orion's belt around your breath. Mercy is the North Star that doesn't negotiate. Grace is the quiet drift of the Milky Way, crossing your doubts without making a sound. You do not need every answer. You need this alignment. Breathe, receive, respond. Assignment for your next hour. Drink water. Take 10 slow steps. Speak one kind sentence to yourself. Send one message softer than you planned. At day's end, write 3 gratitudes and release the rest to me. Obedience in teaspoons becomes a river. Say it again. What you give me will remain. My word will not return empty. If this finds you now, stay close. Subscribe so this peace keeps finding you and those who need it most. Before you sleep, stand at the window. Let the dark be friendly. I numbered the stars. I have not miscounted you. Breathe in for 4. Hold it out for 6. Lay down tomorrow. Rest is not neglect. It is trust with its eyes closed. I am here. I keep watch. Sleep, stop here, be still. In these next breaths, I tune your inner room, and it will last. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Again. Hear the hush before the music. That silence is not emptiness. It's permission. Where I am, confusion loses its baton. This is the orchestra of your life. Panic plays too fast. Shame plays too loud. I lift my hand and tempo returns. Listen for the oboe's single A, steady, clear, unfancy. That note is peace. Tune to it, not to the crowd's applause. You don't need virtuoso speed. You need alignment. Impulse pushes. My guidance invites. Whisper it. I am not late. I'm being placed. Stop. Listen. Peace enters your room now. I write rests into your score, not as punishment, but as power. A rest is where meaning breathes. Hold the fermata I give you. Linger without guilt. Then when I cue you, enter with gentleness that carries far without strain. Assignment for your next hour. Choose your ensemble. Let gratitude take first chair. Seat kindness beside it. Give discernment the timpani. Soft when wise, strong when needed. Ask hurry to step off stage. Ask order to count in. Drink water. Text one sentence softer than you planned. Take 10 slow steps between tasks and hear the room change key. Say it with me. What you give me will remain. My word will not return empty. If this helps you hear your true tempo, subscribe so this tuning can find you again and those who need it most. Now inhale, 4. Hold, exhale, 6. Feel shoulders drop like curtains at the end of noise. You are not performing for me. You are playing with me. When critics cough in the dark, keep your eyes on my hand. When fear rushes the cadence, watch my palm. Slower, truer, kinder. I keep time. You keep trust. Tonight, lay the instrument down and let rest be the last beautiful note. Sleep. Stop. Don't scroll. In these next breaths, I place your feet on a path that holds, and it will last. Breathe with me. In for 4. Hold. Out for 6. Again. The forest is quiet, not because nothing lives, but because everything listens. You've tried to outrun shadows. Walk with me and watch them fall behind at our pace. The trail is narrow enough to keep you honest, and wide enough to keep you hopeful. Where I am, confusion loses its map. Stop, listen, peace enters your room now. You called it lost. I call it unmarked. I mark it now. Hear the creek keeping time. Hear the wind read your name through the leaves. You do not need to see the whole ridge. You need the next true step. Whisper it. I am not late. I'm being placed. When fear points to cliffs, I hand you a handrail. Breath, blessing, boundary, hold it. Assignment for your next hour. Drink water, open a window, choose one task and finish it kindly. Say no once without apology. Say thank you once without performance. If this steadies your way, subscribe. So this path keeps finding you and those who need it most. Breathe again. If branches snag, don't curse the woods. Slow your sleeve. If memory howls, let gratitude answer like a lantern. My word will not return empty. What I give you will remain. Step with me. The ground knows your weight and agrees. Be still. Don't scroll. In these next breaths, I set the table for your day, and it will last. Breathe with me. In for 4, hold, out for 6. Again, the kitchen light is soft. The room smells like bread and something warm with cinnamon. This is where ordinary becomes holy. You've eaten on your feet long enough. Sit, you are not on trial. You are at a table. Where I am, confusion forgets to argue. Stop. Listen, peace enters your room now. You called it scarcity. I call it portion. I place enough in front of you. Strength for the next kindness, focus for the next faithful thing, joy enough to leak into someone else's cup. Say this, I will not starve while standing under your sky again. Assignment for your next hour, bless your food before you count your tasks. Message one person with a gentle sentence. Write 3 gratitudes on a scrap and leave it by the sink. In the comments, share one small blessing you will serve today. Let your words be bread for another. Whisper it, I am not late, I'm being placed. If you drop a cup, we won't announce shame. We'll fetch a cloth. If the pot boils over, we won't dramatize. We'll lower the flame. My word will not return empty. What I give you will remain. Eat, smile. Carry peace like a thermos into the street.